Working up. Apologies for delays currently. I feel like I'm coming through really quietly. Anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me okay? Do I need to? I feel like the microphone's coming through really quietly, so I do apologise. Sure, if this is any better, please confirm. Shane, I can see you in the chat. Apologies, I know I'm coming through really quietly at the moment. Not sure if people can even hear me. Waiting to see if anyone pipes up in chat. I can see Shane is here, so please so just getting the master roles in. Again, please Lisa for the follow-up. So, we'll surely be getting back into the swing of things. We're here for rounds 1 to 3 of season 27 of the OMA Touring Car Championship. Here from Bernese Alps. Just myself commentating today. Normally we'd have the used to be myself and either Connor Ambrose, myself, Stephen, but neither of them are available currently. Connor, in fact, has taken part in this season, so good luck to him. But we've missed it for a season. We're back now, hoping to keep this going consistently for the entirety of the of this time around. And yeah, as always, be vocal in chat. Let me know how you're finding things. If any questions, the whole thing, do get involved. That's what we love here. And hopefully we can give you a nice, entertaining season like we have in the past. And again, you'll have to bear with me. I haven't streamed in almost a year for this, so again, apologies if things are, for lack of a better term, rubbish. But hope everyone is doing okay. And yeah, we'll be getting this going shortly. As you can see, people are joining in and getting ready to go for round 1. We'll run through the grid as soon as we get this underway. Qualifying, of course, has ended. Just been told. That's perfect. Glad to hear that the audio looks to be working. So thanks for the help. It's been a long time since I've done this, alright, so just had to get myself back into the swing of things, but hopefully as soon as the racing starts I will be ready and getting this underway. It's a shame that my co-commentator has decided to actually race this season. It's potentially the last season on Forza Motorsport 7, so he wants to end the season on track as opposed to with myself retired and in the in the spectating. But good luck to him, and we will hopefully we'll get a co-commentator in with me at some point, but for the time being you are unfortunately stuck with just me. But Bernese Alps returns as season opener, and there is a few surprises from qualifying. The main one for me would be Liam Ferguson not taking pole. Obviously, normally he is the one to watch as soon as the season starts. He has picked the Chevrolet Cruze to be using this season, and he ended up not qualifying on pole. He qualified second behind Callum Kirkpatrick, taking his first pole position, the first point of the season. Back with TMS for this time round. He's independent, but he's running under the TMS banner. And looks like we are now getting ready to go. So we will have a quick run through the grid. There it is for that first round. 18 drivers, all sorts. The Audi LMS was seen to be the one to look out for. Brooksy, welcome to the chat. And Kirkpatrick has done exactly as was expected. Well, not of him, actually. It was expected that the TCR was going to be the one to watch. But, I mean, Liam Ferguson in his Chevrolet always seems to find a way to put himself on pole, even on a car that is supposed to be the worst around the circuit. So, let's see how he does as the race goes on. But we will go through the grid now. So, as mentioned before, pole position is Callum Kirkpatrick in that striking blue, not blue, it's purple, and white Audi TCR. Behind him is Liam Ferguson, who is looking to defend yet another championship after winning last time round. Third place behind them is Alex McDonald, becoming a bit of a series regular now, which is always good to see. And he will be also alongside the teammate to Liam Ferguson in Phil Garside, long-term driver. Behind them, fifth place will be Kieran Barrett. You can see they've just made the way around the circuit now. 6th place is Dave German, 7th for Joe Upson. Then we've got Brandon Roos qualifying down in 8th. He won't be happy with that one, but he is in the Chevrolet as well, so it's one of those where, like mentioned before, it's not suited to this track at all, but Brandon will hopefully be looking to make a jump from 8th in this first race and build from there. Charlie Thompson in the Mercedes is in 9th, with Thibaut Dubomi in 10th place. As we keep going through the field, 11th place for Bradley Thornton, 12th for Christian Schneider, 13th for Carl Cully, 14th for Tom Clarkson. 13th place Carl Cully did win the OMA Charity Cup last season, and as the winner of that championship, he did get to pick the charity that will be kind of setting up the donation link for the entirety of this season, and he has picked MS Society, so no need to say any more than that. It's a good charity that he's picked, and I know it's something very close to him. Going further through, 15th place is Declan Evans in the Beaumont Motorsports with VTX car, 17th for Hayden Prodger, 18th for Jack Brady, making his return to the championship, and I believe that is everyone. Jack Brady at the back. I'll have to double check, but it looks like they're all getting themselves lined up. Oh, no, apologies. 18th place is finally fixed itself. Good old Forza spectating is Liam James for the new AMS team that has in their first season in OMA. So welcome to them, and it'll just be Liam James showing off. But as you can see, cars are lined up on the grid. You'll have to keep an eye out for that fast starting Chevrolet on the right-hand side. It does have the best launch out of kind of this top group that you can see, and there's 2 Chevrolets on that, well, 3 in a row on that right-hand side. So they'll be ones to keep an eye out for. But Kirkpatrick in his Audi TCR will also look to try and block that one. He has got the inside line into turn 1, but we're getting ready, are we? Thank you, Forza. We're getting ready to get this one underway. Let's see who gets the best start. Again, keep an eye for Liam Ferguson on that right-hand side. Season 27 is underway. Looks like a good start there from Kirkpatrick. Terrible start behind him for 3rd place, which was Alex McDonald, and they're alongside now. Kirkpatrick is squeezing Liam Ferguson to the left-hand side. Ferguson has got the outside run. He's got that better acceleration. Kirkpatrick for a second looked like he was going to dive it down the inside, but he had to back out of that one, and you can see in the background a car going wide. I think that's McDonald in the Honda, who's running really wide up at the top. He's going to lose places down there. There's 2-3 wide in the middle of this bunch as they're coming through this quick S's section, but it looks like they've all managed to get through safely. Let's see if there's any fast starts there. Obviously, a bit of smoke in the background there, but I think everyone has managed to get through here okay as they come down the hill after that tight section, and everyone looks to be sorting themselves out. There's a bit of a bunching of the pack in around 6th place. Let's go and check that on. It's Alex McDonald, who's looked to be a bit of a bottleneck at the moment, just holding off those behind him. You can see at the top there in the ticker, Declan Evans making a move past Liam James for 16th place, going up the hill to the right-hander, sweeping shot through the mountains there. You can see him. McDonald's taking a very different line. There's one side by side there. One of the Chevrolets looked like he was going to make a move. I think that was Joe Upson. Let's have a check of that one. It was battling away there with Charlie Thompson. Thompson looking to try and hang it around the outside in his Mercedes, but Upson has got the best acceleration out of this corner to see if Thompson can hang it around there. He looks like he's getting a bit of a bump draft there. There's Upson from the Audi of Thibaut Dubomi as they finish that first very quick lap, and we've got 16 laps of this one to go. 3 have gone, obviously counting the formation lap, and taking a wide line there as Thompson, and he has lost out to Upson and also to Dubomi, it does appear, but through the S's again they go side by side. Dubomi does look to make that one stick, and Thompson's now going to watch out behind him. Back to the front of the field, you can see that Liam Ferguson is still leading the way from Callum Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick is all over him, looking to try and find his moment to overtake. He looked for a second like he was going to go for that inside line there, but he did have to stay out of this one. Behind them you can see that they're getting a bit of a gap to 3rd place, which is Phil Garside, who is also, well, Phil Garside and Dave German in 3rd and 4th, who are the teammates for Liam Ferguson. So this is a perfect start for Full Send Racing this time. Kieran Barrett is in 5th place, 6th place is Alex McDonald, 7th place for Thibaut Dabomi, who has managed to get past Joe Upson, who's slipped down to 9th place. So let's check on how that lot is going. It looks like he's going to lose another one as now, and that is to Christian Schneider. He's got to be careful though, because Bradley Thornton is looking to try and make a move on him as well. That's the thing around this track, it's so momentum based. You lose a bit of time in one of the corners and you tend to start dropping back just that tiny bit until you can get it back up to speed through one of these tighter areas again. But just going back towards the front, it looks like Kirkpatrick and Ferguson are all right together again. Ferguson, as you can see, taking that tighter inside line to defend it. Kirkpatrick's trying to swing it out wide and look for the cutback, but it's not to be had. Behind them you can see the two Full Send Racing cars, the teammates side by side. That's Garside and Dave German. Looks like German just backs out of that one and slips behind, but for a second it looked like they may be swapping the cars over, not on purpose, but back towards 10th place. You can see that Christian Schneider just dropping off slightly. Has actually dropped down to 10th as Bradley Thornton's got past him. So Bradley Thornton's made up 2 places there. Charlie Thompson, by the way, has got past Brandon Roos, who I think has found his way into this fight. We'll have to keep an eye on the progress of those. Going towards the back, you can see everyone is still all packed together. You've got Liam James in 16th place, all over the back of, I think that's Hayden Prodger, who's just appeared on the right screen. Yes, it is, with Tom Clarkson in front of him, this brightly coloured 995 design car. Up the hill they go, and keep an eye out for Liam James as they get to top speed. That Mercedes is the best in a straight line. Behind them, you can see Declan Evans has made his way past. I think he's made his way past Hayden Prodger. Yes, he has. So that's Evans up to 16th place. Now, for those who aren't aware, for races 1 and 2 of the evenings, the bottom 5 places do get dropped into the second lobby for the following race. So, as it stands, the 5 going down would be Jack Braley, Hayden Prodger, Declan Evans, Liam James and Tom Clarkson. So they're going to want to get to the back of 13th place Carl Cully as quick as possible. Bit of a wide line there from Prodger. That's not going to do him any favours. Meanwhile, for the front, Ferguson looks to have finally got a bit of a gap to the car behind. So Kirkpatrick is just going to have to try and put in some solid laps now to get back to him. But Ferguson looking to carry on as he finished last season, just on top and dominating. Take that however you want. McDonald, by the way, in 5th place now, so he's making his way through the field after that, for lack of a better term, shocking start. He's got Kieran Barrett and Thibaut Dabomi side by side. I'm not sure there if Dave German caught the wall on that left-hand side. Looked like he got a really poor exit. This could put him under pressure from the Honda. Behind them, Kieran Barrett has now dropped off, so I think he had to back out between himself and Dabomi. It looks like Forza is having a bit of a moment. We're trying to figure out what position everyone is. It's saying Hayden Prodger's in first moment, but that is definitely not the case. Let's get back to... So here we are, lap 6 of 16, and it is Ferguson from Kirkpatrick, Garside. Dave German is in 4th place, but he's now find himself under a bit more pressure from the Honda of Alex McDonald. Behind them is Dabomi in 6th, and a bit of a gap back to Kieran Barrett and Brandon Roos, who's also got Charlie Thompson for company. Then the 4 looking all together here Bradley Thornton, Christian Schneider, Joe Upson, and just tagging on along the back of this is Carl Cully. Well, a bit of a wide line there in the background. That's Tom Clarkson going wide. I think he's managed to hold it and keep it out of the wall, but he's going to have to keep an eye on that one, because if he starts dropping back too much, he will find himself under pressure from the travelling pack behind him. Found a trio there. Oh, and that looks like someone's gone a bit wide as I see that on the map. Just check who's... They look like they've all made it through, so they're just battling away, these 3. Back up the hill they go. Towards the front of the field, you can see still 4th place is Dave German. He's got McDonald all over the back. You can see the Honda is lining up and move for the inside. He's had to think twice about that one. German defends that one nicely, and they're going to have to keep an eye out though, because the Frenchman Thibaut Dabomi is on his way, looking to get involved as well. Might play this cool, just wait for something to happen in front of him. You can see McDonald is getting a bit impatient, looking like he's going to try and make a move at some point. The first opportunity goes, and that could be it. You can see the gap open there. Up to the inside. No, he's not quite got it, but I think under acceleration he is going to get alongside him there. So Alex McDonald in his Honda looking to try and make a move on the Chevrolet of Dave German, but through the sector he's not going to be able to do it. That yes is really cannot, you know, it's a push to try and fit 2 side by side, but McDonald, you can see he's all over the back of a Chevrolet in front of him. There's no room to be had around here at the moment. I'm sure his moment will come and he'll go for it again, like we nearly saw in turn one. Told you I was. And yet again, you can see he definitely caught the wall that time. This is going to give the opportunity to McDonald up to the inside. Looks to have passed him before the braking zone. Yes, he has. So that's the second. I thought I saw this a couple laps ago where it looked like the Chevrolet just caught that wall on the outside, but that time you could definitely hear the crunch. That's not going to have helped his run up the hill. And McDonald did not need a second invitation. He was taking that one all day long, and behind him you can see that DeBomi is also looking to get involved. But back further in the pack, you can see there's a battle going on for 10th place. Sorry, for 11th place, my mistake. It's Christian Schneider in 11th, who's now, as I've said, been overtaken by Joe Upson. So he's now found himself between Upson and Carl Cully. So the three of these, as they make their way towards turn one. Bit of contact there in the back as the Honda of Cully just taps the Audi of Schneider. These three all together, but they have got to be careful because Tom Clarkson is on his way, and if Tom Clarkson gets past any of them, the person who loses out will be dropping down to B-Lobby for race 2. So these three kind of need to start thinking what they want to do here, whether they want to play it safe and just kind of stick with what they've got, or are they in a bit of a panic mode. It looks to me at the moment like they're all just trying to fight over the position because they don't want to even risk being in that bottom 5. You can see 15th place, just judging by the map there. Dick Lemmers has managed to get a bit of a gap now on Hayden Prodger and Liam James, which is going to give him a bit of a rest in terms of try and get up to this chasing pack, really. So we can see the fastest lap of the race so far is held by Callum Kirkpatrick, who we are just watching now, tucked in behind Liam Ferguson. These two look like they're going to continue this battle all race long, but Kirkpatrick, this looks to be the closest I've seen him in a few laps. He's going to try and get a run towards turn 1 as they cross the start-finish line for lap 9 of 16. Let's see, I'm not sure if Ferguson just got a better exit or a better run down there, but he's pulled a bit of a gap on Kirkpatrick on their way towards turn 1, and Kirkpatrick is going to have to wait for another opportunity. Behind them, the battle for 5th is still going as Dave German, who's lost out. He's lost out now, sorry, apologies to Thibaut Dubomi. So the Frenchman now up to 5th, and he's looking at the Honda in front of him of McDonald, and he's surely going to do the chase down on him now. Further through the field, let's check back towards the battling trio that was going on between Hayden Prodger and looking to go around the outside of Liam James. That'll be a good move if he can pull that one off, but it looks like he's going to lose out, in fact, to Jack Braley, who looks to dive down his inside on the right-hander down the hill. Bit of a slide on there from James. He's managed to collect himself, but Braley looked for a second like he was going to make the move, but no, not to be had. James is going to hold onto that. Bit of a slide again on that Audi S3 as he makes his way through. I don't know if he's got a setup issue. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's looking like he's sliding through a few of those corners. Let's hope he can get himself settled as he looks to chase the Mercedes ahead of him. And further through, Tom Clarkson now is on the back of that pack. So the battle for kind of 13th is the safe spot, is about to rage on. Keep an eye on that one. But second place, Callum Kirkpatrick again find himself all over the back of Liam Ferguson, but he's just not finding an opportunity to get past. That Chevrolet just having that little bit better acceleration is helping him out and keeping him in front. Ferguson is not an easy guy to overtake anyway. He's trying to make sure I've got this right, but 4 of the last 5 seasons, and Kirkpatrick is really all over him trying to find him, but it's just not to be had at the moment. Just checking the ticker at the top, you can see that Thibaut Dubomi has made up 5 places in this race, and in the stark contrast, Joe Upson has lost 4, so one had a better qualifying, the other one is dropping as the race goes on. Kind of don't want to look away from this battle. As you can see further through, everyone is all, as they kind of get settled in. Here we are though, Brandon Roos just ahead of the Mercedes of Charlie Thompson. Behind them, Bradley Thornton is looking to get involved as well, who's rounding out the top 10. But as we are here, just about to get onto lap 11, Kirkpatrick again slotted in behind Ferguson. Looking for the opportunity, he's not finding it so far. He's still holding the fast lap of the race, which would give him a bonus point as well, but I'm sure he'd love the win. Ferguson looks like he's gone a bit wide through the first corner, but again, Kirkpatrick just cannot seem to get close enough to make a move when he makes a mistake. It's a rare mistake to see from Ferguson going that a little bit wider. Just given an opportunity to Kirkpatrick, and he's not one to back out if the opportunity opens again, so keep an eye on these two as the race goes on. You can see further through, everyone looks to have settled down now. Declan Levinson's really escaped from that trio of Prodger, James and Braley down in 16th, but he's got to work hard to get back towards 14th. Let's go up the hill again. You can see Kirkpatrick is just kind of losing a couple of car lengths out of the tight corners, and he's gaining it back through these faster sections, but it's just not making it easy on him to try and make an overtake at all. He's going to have to set something up and get a good run. He looks to go wide and maybe get a late apex through the final corner. Ferguson got really close to the wall, then not sure if he touched it, but again you can see Ferguson just holding out, just keeping Kirkpatrick at bay. And I say this, but there's the opportunity there. Ferguson run a little bit wide. Kirkpatrick's trying to just get his nose in there, but again he's just finding that Chevrolet acceleration is saving Ferguson as he makes those mistakes. It's uncharacteristic to see Ferguson making mistakes at all, so this will be one to see as the race goes on. Is Kirkpatrick putting him under enough pressure to force an error? Could potentially be the reason. Meanwhile, the battle for third now as McDonald is on the back of Phil Garside. That seems to have happened out of nowhere. Not sure if Garside made a mistake, but oh, big slide there from McDonald as he looked for a second to go up for the inside and had to back out at the last second. Just taking that tighter line through that turn. Up the hill we go. Fourth place for the Honda of McDonald at the moment. It is Chevrolet, Audi TCR, followed by Chevrolet and a Honda, and then fifth place at the moment is the Audi S3, kind of older model. And it's a Chevrolet again, so a track that looked like it was going to favour the TCR. Look, right now, looking like he's trying to make a move to the inside is McDonald. It's all over the back of Phil Garside, and Garside's doing its utmost to keep him at bay. Taking just a slightly narrower line across the start-finish line as they get onto lap 13 to try and hold him off. It's not going to make it easy for him. Back towards the battle for 8th place. Brandon Roos still leading this one. You can see behind him though, Bradley Thornton and Charlie Thompson are waiting for their opportunity to strike. Car's just gone wide in the background there. I think that was Kyle Cully, which has given Tom Clarkson 13th place now. Cully's going to want that back as quick as possible, as right now it would be him dropping down to B lobby. Let's go back to check out Bradley Thornton as he looks to be making a move on Charlie Thompson. Look how close these two are as they make their way down to the bottom of the hill and then going back up. You can see that, watch that Mercedes as it gets into the straight line, it just starts to pull. Wasn't a massive difference on that one. I don't think Thompson got the best exit that he could have got. I don't think Brandon Roos is going to care about these guys battling at all. He's going to love to see it as Clarkson and Cully look like they've swapped positions again. That's Cully up to 13th, so he is now safe. Just another check at the lead, and it is still as they were. Liam Ferguson in first place, closely followed by Colin Kirkpatrick. Really tucked in. You can see that he's trying to get a run through that section. You see the slightly wide line he takes just to try and get a bit of a gap to open up for him, but it's not happening. This defence by Ferguson is so stellar at the moment. Is this a potential move he's lining up? He's got around the outside of him as Kirkpatrick. Bit of contact with the pair of them and to the wall, but Kirkpatrick to the inside. Ferguson's just managed to keep him away. So close there for Kirkpatrick. That looked like he lined that one up as, almost like I said a few laps ago, he for a second looked like he tried to take a wide line to get a better run down the hill and nearly pulled off. It nearly did. And the battle for third place, by the way, is now heating up as Thibaut de Beaumont looks to be joining this pairing of Phil Garside and Alex McDonald now. As McDonald dives for the inside there, you see that? Garside just holding him off. They're side by side as they make their way through that final corner. Garside's going to look to try and use that acceleration of that Chevrolet to get back at him as they make their way across the line. really is nothing to give between the pair of these. Garside's going to try and hold around the outside, but he's going to get hung out to dry. Surely he's going to have to back out of this one as they make their way towards the S's and just tuck himself in. But I think he's trying to hold it. They're going to go side by side, and he's got him. Oh, no, he hasn't. They're still side by side, and it looks like behind them, Bomi is trying to find a way to get involved, but he almost doesn't want to at this point. These two could end up taking each other out if they aren't too careful. And now that position has finally been given up by Garside. That was so close for so long. So that is a position gained for... Oh, Garside looked to try and make the quick return move on McDonald, and it opened him up to an inside dive from Debomi, and he's not going to need a second invitation to that one. So that is a position gained for Debomi. 2 positions lost for Garside. I've just noticed that we looked to have a car out of the race. That's Jack Brady who was parked up. So that is disappointing for him. I'm not sure if there's damage to him, if he looks to just be parked up out of the way. So that's unfortunate for him. He will be finishing, or he won't be finishing this race. Up at the front, you can see the battles that have forced themselves with on the final lap. So it's Callum Kirkpatrick in second place. He's got 1 lap to do it. His chances to overtake Ferguson are dwindling every single opportunity. To make the way through the S's, this is where we saw Kirkpatrick look to get something lined up last time round. He's slightly further back on Ferguson this time, however. I mean, these two have been battling like this pretty much the entire time, and they've managed to pull out a nearly 5-second gap on third place. So this has been a very quick race between these two. I don't think Kirkpatrick is going to be close enough as they make their way through the bottom of the hill. Right-hander come up the hill. I think the Chevrolet's going to get it. Yeah, that's got to be it now, surely. Kirkpatrick's really pushed him, made that slight contact on the wall. It's heavier contact on the wall, but it's not enough to damage him. I think that Ferguson's going to pull this one off. He's making his way towards the final corner. Liam Ferguson, Full Send Racing's star driver, really. He's always find himself up at the front. He did really well to hold off Kirkpatrick. I don't think he's going to give an opportunity. He hits the wall. Is that going to be a chance? It's not. It's Liam Ferguson takes the win in race 1. Kirkpatrick in second. Third place goes away with Alex McDonald, followed by Thibaut Debomi and Phil Garside. 6th place for Dave German. Just quickly check on the pack for 10th place. They were all bunched in together. And in the end, Declan Evans did get 14th place off of Tom Clarkson. So Clarkson must have just dropped in those last couple of laps. But that's not enough to keep them in the top lobby. But we'll quick run through once this is all over. I think it's just going to be across the line. You can see Roger finishes 17th behind Liam James. And tucked in at the back is Jack Brady, who is unfortunately out of this race. So, I mean, first thing that you need to say for that one is that Kirkpatrick, he lost the lead at the start of the race, and he just couldn't get the opportunity. He had a couple chances. It looked like that he's going to make it, and he couldn't pull it off. But I mean, props to Liam Ferguson. He did a stellar defence and kept him at bay the entire time. And now, obviously, well, I say obviously, in case anyone viewing wasn't aware, the top 5 from that race will now be carrying 5% handicap on their power. So expect a closer battle at the top here between the main drivers. But final results of that one, as mentioned, you can see Ferguson in first place, followed by Kirkpatrick, McDonald, Debomi, and Garside rounding out the top 5. So they'll be the ones carrying the ballast. Then behind them, it will be Dave German, Kieran Barrett, Charlie Thompson, Bradley Thornton, and Brandon Roos rounding out the top 10. So Brandon just dropping from that kind of trio battle at the last section. Joe Upson 11th, followed by Christian Schneider, Carl Cully, and then the bottom 5 unfortunately dropping down to B lobby of Declan Evans, Tom Clarkson, Liam James, and Hayden Prodger, and of course Jack Brady, as mentioned, with that DNF. So going to have to keep an eye out now to see who's going to make the move up to replace those 5 from B lobby. Be just a waiting game to see how they get on. But a very close race up at the front. There's some battles all the way throughout, some kind of tiers of drivers getting stuck together and unable to escape, as they say. We'll be taking a short break as we get ready for race 2, so don't go anywhere, and I hope to see you all as soon as possible. Just wanted to quickly point out a mistake on my part. So it was actually it's a rule change for this season. It was my error, and it's the bottom 4 that dropped down to B lobby, with the top 4 from B lobby making the swap. So in fact, Declan Evans' overtake on Tom Clarkson that final lap was enough to keep him in A lobby. So yeah, apologies for that, but that does mean that Declan Evans will be staying in that top lobby. Tom Clarkson makes the unfortunate drop down, but still joining Tom Clarkson drop in will be Liam James, Hayden Prodger, and Jack Braley. How did everyone find that race? Apologies on that slight error, shall we say, on the final standings. So it does look like the 4 coming up have made their appearance. So we'll do a run through of the grid once we look to get going. But it does look like it is Ali Johnston, Ken Bedell, Matt Carter, and Birch making the jump up to A lobby. So welcome to those. As you can see, 2 TCRs, 1 Mercedes, and a Chevrolet joining in. Just to clarify the standings, yeah, it did look like it was Matt Carter who took the kind of B lobby win, shall we say, with Birch, then Bedell and Johnson in 4th. Shane Blotti in 5th place, just missed out on jumping up, but looked like there was, just judging by it, Matt Carter ran away with the race with a won by 16 seconds, if I've read that correctly. So we thought the battle at the front was quick. Matt Carter disappeared in B lobby. See, 5 drivers from the top 5 have all got their ballast added now, which should bring them close down. But let's keep an eye to see how those guys that have just made the jump from B lobby do this time around. See if they are able to put some pressure on those above. Also want to quickly mention the fastest lap of the race did go to, make sure I got this right, but I believe it went to Thibaut de Bomi in the end with an 18.541. Did so he has taken that bonus point, which for a long time looked like it was going to go to Kirkpatrick. Welcome, Stokey. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for the raid. So getting ready for race 2 here. So as you can see, Ferguson will be starting on pole position after his win in race 1 with Kirkpatrick and Alex McDonald behind him, the fellow podium. And let's be there. There we go, countdown's going. So all is well. Checks have been done, and we'll go through the grid shortly. Classic Forza black screen. Here we go. So, leading them away for the warm-up lap is Liam Ferguson. And as I've already mentioned, behind him will be Callum Kirkpatrick. And then on the next row will be Alex McDonald. Alongside him will be Thibaut de Bomi. So, let's see if he can improve on that 4th place. He did get the fastest lap of the race in race 1. And I know it's going to be a bit more of a struggle with that ballast hanging over him. But see what he can do. Behind him, Phil Garside in 5th place. We're disappointed to have lost out to those two as the race went on. He made a good start, kept his teammate at bay, and looked like he was set for that podium. But the pair ahead of him just came storming through the pack, and in the end it was just a single mistake that dropped him through. Dave German will be starting from 6th place. Behind him will be Kieran Barrett and Charlie Thompson. 9th place for Bradley Thornton, and Brandon Roos rounds out the top 10. Behind them, you've got Joe Upson and Christian Schneider in 11th and 12th. 13th for Carl Carley, 14th for Declan Evans in his Honda, in the Boneyard Motorsports with VTX Honda. 15th, so the new guys to A lobby for this race. You have got Matt Carter, 16th for Philip Birch, 17th is Ken Bedell, and 18th will be Ali Johnson. Let's see him making his way through. So we lose the 995 car of Tom Clarkson and gained another member of the 905 stable in Ali Johnston. But up towards the front, you can see that Ferguson has slowed it right down, getting ready to get this one underway. His fast started Chevrolet, you expect him to be leaning into turn 1. Kirkpatrick last time round did have to do his best to hold off the chasing pack, and he tried to keep Ferguson at bay as they made their way into turn 1, but just couldn't keep him away. And really from there on, Ferguson, he had his moments where he looked like he was going to lose it, but just managed to keep Kirkpatrick at bay a couple of times. There was some moments where it really looked like Kirkpatrick was going to get him, and Ferguson managed to hold him off. But you can see they're all lining up on the grid there. So keep an eye on that Chevrolet on the left-hand side. The other one to also check out will be McDonald in 3rd, so kind of just tucked in behind Ferguson on your screen. He got an awful start in race 1 and dropped back quite quickly, but hopefully for his sake it'll be a different story this time round. Just waiting for the final car on the grid to get into his slot. Oh, I think that's Phil Garside just jumping out of his grid slot for a second, but he's got back in time. sounds like we're getting ready to go for race 2 of season 27. It's a really long way here. Here we go. And they're off. Race 2 is underway, and Kirkpatrick didn't get the best of starts. Of course, Ferguson got an absolutely monstrous start. The Honda behind him didn't seem to get away well at all. One of the ballasted cars looks to have dropped through the pack quite quickly. Who is that that's got an awful one? I can't quite... I think it's Thibaut Duomi has dropped there. The way through turn 1, there's 3 wide in the middle of your screen there. I think that looks to be one of the... Oh, one of the Chevrolets in the background. They look to have just managed to filter themselves through as they make their way through the S's and getting ready to go down the hill for the first time in race 2. Trying to see who that was. Thibaut Duomi all the way back into 11th place from 5th on the grid. That is not the start he would have wanted. Back towards the very rear, you can see Bedell and Johnson just trailing a little bit, but there's a pack of 4 just kind of head up by those podium sitters in... Oh no, McDonald has also dropped back through the pack. He's in 6th place at the moment, but it's not quite as bad a start as he got in the first round. You see there Joe Upson as they make their way up the hill, looks to be getting a run on Matt Carter. He's got that outside line. Is that Matt Carter he's against? Apologies if I've made that, if I've got that wrong. I have, in fact. That was Brandon Roos on Kieran Barrett. That is not even close. Back towards the front though. You can see making the way through the final corner. Liam Ferguson, he's doing what he wants to do again. It's Lee from the front. He's got Kirkpatrick behind him. Garside behind them. In fact, you've got Kirkpatrick find himself in the midst of the full Sem racing cars again, so he's going to have to be careful. He's run a little bit wide, and that looks like it's going to be a position gain there for Phil Garside as he runs him a little bit wide, side by side between the pair of them, and then they sweep into the S's yet again, and I think Kirkpatrick managed to get them. Oh, Kirkpatrick in the wall in the background! I'm not sure if he's managed to keep himself going properly. I think it looks like he's dropping through. You can see him in the middle of your picture, just in the back of the pack. Kirkpatrick looks like he may have took some heavy damage from that contact. It looked like a massive hit on the left-hand side. He's found himself just trying to keep an eye on Kirkpatrick's progress for a second, check if he's got any damage. He's now found himself behind Brandon Roos and Alex McDonald. Not sure if he took any damage. I think he just lost so much momentum through that. We'll keep an eye on his progress as it goes on. But what that has done has given Liam Ferguson a big gap in front of him. I think everyone had to check up slightly. Dave German's in 2nd place. 3rd place now is Phil Garside. He lost out slightly in the midst of that. Charlie Thompson finds himself up in 4th. It's a really good drive from the Mercedes so far. Look at Kirkpatrick now looking to go around the outside of Thibaut Duomi as they make their way towards the final corner. So I don't think he's holding on to any damage, or if it is, it's not enough to worry him too much. This battle in pack, you can see they're so bunched up together trying to find space. Back of this one is Christian Schneider. You can see him, look at what you can see in front of him, just cars constantly looking for a space. A couple of them going a little bit wide there. I think that was Barrett and may have been McDonald again, who had his couple moments where he was running wide in that corner in the first race, but on board with the American at the moment to make the way towards the right-hander after the S is going down the hill. Bit of contact, I said bit of contact. He got a whack from behind. He also ended up tapping the car in front of him, so all of them all getting together. In the background, someone is going really wide out of that corner. It looked like it's Kevin Bedell. He's lost his rhythm quite a bit there, and he's going to have to, I mean, in my opinion, it won't take him long to get back towards that pack in front of him as they're so bunched up together close. You can see Schneider's now into, for a second, got into 10th place, I think. The hill on Kirkpatrick, that ballast is not doing Kirkpatrick any favours as they make their way into the right-hander at the top of the hill. Towards the front there, you can see it is still Liam Ferguson in 1st place. 2nd place is Dave German with Phil Garside bottling up the rest of the pack in 3rd. Dave German not holding any balance at the moment, so he may be able to gain on his teammate ahead. In front of the food, you can see that trainer cars all bunched in together for 10th through to 13th, so the 4 of them, and you've got the trio there. But let's run through the positions as it stands. There's a big battle going on for 3rd place right now. You can see side by side is Phil Garside and Bradley Thornton. Thornton got the inside line through the S's. Looks like he's going to make that one stick. Charlie Thompson behind him, trying to get a run as well. Thompson's got his nose alongside Garside. Garside's got his nose alongside Thornton, so the 3 of them almost went 3 wide there, but Thompson did the right thing and backed out of that one. Didn't want to make it too much. Quick run through of the positions, so you can see this train that's being caused. I mean, if I go to the car at the back of this one in Ali Johnston in 17th, you can see them all going up the hill so close in together. In fact, I say that Johnston does get lost slightly at the back of that one. Let's watch it from the viewpoint of Declan Evans, looking at his brother Carl Curley in front of him. 9th place Kieran Barrett is looking at a gaggle of cars in front of him, trying to all find space. It looked like that was one of the Tempest Motorsport cars going up the inside of Charlie Thompson. May have been a bit of contact there actually, because Thompson has ended up quite wide to the left. So Thompson's dropped back down now to 7th place there. Almost 3 wide going across the start-finish line there. Thompson to the inside. See Garside dives it down to get that position stuck. Thompson through these corners, he's losing out that quite a bit to a couple of the other cars. He's been passed there by Thibaut de Beaumont as they make their way through, and he's now found himself under a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if he's carrying any damage, you know, here. So he looks to be dropping quite a bit. He's had a bit of a contact there, and he's ran a little bit wide. This is a really not very good section at all for Thompson as it stands, but have to keep an eye on those guys. Further forward, you can see another few cars going side by side, making their way through the left-hander, down towards the right. Again, the Tempest Motors got the car in front of him as Thibaut de Beaumont looks at Garside, and I believe that's Brandon Roos. Yes, it is, on the way up the hill. That Mercedes. The Mercedes? That's a Chevrolet. Nice one. The Chevrolet in front of him, getting a good run. Trying, he looks like he may have a run along the inside actually of Garside, so make the way towards that final corner. He's got to be careful though, because McDonald is getting involved in this one as well. He's dived to the outside. What a move if he can pull that one off. I think he's done it. The Frenchman, he lined up for the inside. The last second just switched it to the outside. That's a great move. Garside was really caught napping there for a second. He showed the inside, then just dove to the outside. Late brakes. Took 5th place away from Garside. This is good from him so far. There's nearly 4 wide in the background there. I think McDonald was one of those in his Honda. There's 2 in the wall. There's 2 in the wall. 4 wide. It's never going to work. Who was that got involved in that one? I think that was the Audi of Kieran Barrett. Let's double check, make sure I'm right now. And it was the kind of Toyota Gazoo styled livery of Kieran Barrett. He finds himself down in 18th place now. He's surely got damage on that car. The contact he had with that wall was not fun at all, and that's a place gain for Kevin Bedell, as well as a drop down for Alex McDonough, who's doing so well, and that's opened up the field a little bit, as you can see Bedell battling away there. But what that's done to positions so far, you can see it's slightly calmed things down around the grid. Not as much, actually. Ignore everything I was about to say. You can see there's 2 cars going side by side yet again. That's Schneider and Kirkpatrick making the way side by side. Is going to the final corner. Just watching this from the viewpoint of Joe Upson here, who's in 9th place. He's driving a solid race so far. He's somehow keeping himself out of the contact that's going on. There's side by side door bashing going on as they go across the start finish line. I think that was Kirkpatrick who may have touched the wall on the outside there. In fact, Upson looks to be lining up and move to the inside. He's looking at Schneider in front. He's trying to decide whether it's worth it. I think Kirkpatrick... I say you think. Kirkpatrick's come really wide on the outside there. He's surely going to be losing out when he comes back into the racing line. He hasn't. Oh, Upson, massive slide there. I think he saved that one and kept it out of the wall. That was a huge slide from the Englishman through the right-hander. We're halfway through this race already, and it's gone so quick. The battles all through the field. Quick check towards the front. It is still Liam Ferguson holding off Dave German. German doesn't look to be in a position to overtake quite yet. He's slowly gaining. Bradley Thornton's found himself in 3rd place, along with Brandon Roos in 4th. So these guys making their way through. And at the front of this kind of semi-train that's going on is still 5th place. It is Thibaut de Beaumont, the Frenchman, who hasn't really looked back after that amazing overtake. I'm going to be give him plaudits for this one as the race goes on, but that move from De Bomi to get around the outside of Phil Garside was inspired, and he's carrying on going now. Going to potentially be looking ahead at him at the Chevrolet of Brandon Roos, who's himself looking to try and challenge for a podium. So a quick run through of the top 10 then. So it's Liam Ferguson in first place, second place with Dave German, followed by Bradley Thornton, Brandon Roos, Thibaut De Bomi and Phil Garside in 6th. 7th was Christian Schneider, followed by Callum Kirkpatrick, Joe Upson, and 10th is Charlie Thompson, who's got Matt Carter all over the back of him as it stands. Thompson looks to have got his rhythm back a bit more now after that kind of flurry that he had a couple laps ago in that first sector. See him making the way through the streets there. Right hand side, you can see Joe Upson getting a bit of a run, a bit wide. I thought for a second Thompson was going to look around the outside there, but he's going to potentially try and line something on the way up the hill. You see that Chevrolet, on the first glance it's getting away from him, and then as the corners come, the Mercedes just starts gaining on him and going around the outside there. It looks like Christian Schneider looking to try and make a move for 6th place. That's on Garside. He's seen what De Bomi did a lap ago, and he's got him before the corners even come. I say this, and Garside dives it back down the inside under braking. Good battling going on here, and I think Patrick's going to make a move here as well. Oh, Schneider in the wall on the outside. I think he's managed to keep it going without any damage, and Patrick, you can see, making it almost 3 wide in there. It's Matt Carter making it 3 wide, actually. Apologies on that inside. Under braking. Looks like he played that one safe, Schneider. He didn't want to risk going into the wall like he saw a couple laps ago from a couple of the others, and that's Matt Carter up to 8th from that, so he was 11th going into that section. Now finds himself in 8th place alongside Joe Upson, who's on his left just off screen. Apologies, no, that Callum Kirkpatrick just off screen. Upson is the one in front of him. My apologies. Down the hill, Kirkpatrick looks to have made the move back on Matt Carter. It's going to hear the slight bumps and grazes as the cars all try and make their way through around each other. One person who's gone undetected through this, by the way, Carl Cully, well, 2 people, Carl Cully and Declan Lemons, have found themselves right at the back of this pack. Cully, you can see here, looking to make a move up the inside of Charlie Thompson. Declan Lemons just in prime spot at the moment to just pick up any pieces should anything happen in front of him. It's all settled down a little bit for these guys, but up at the front, Upson and Garside are again battling through that final corner. Garside's holding onto it for the moment, but Upson looks to set up for the cutback, but straight away you can see Garside dive to the outside. He's got the ballast that he's carrying at the moment. He's wanting to keep the inside line for the braking. Upson's going to try and hold it around the outside. He's got a bit of a line on him at the moment, but Garside gets the foot down, just gets himself back ahead. Going into the S's. I think they're going to stay side by side. No, Upson does back out of that one in the last second. A bit of grinding between the pair of them. Garside looking to try and defend that inside line. Upson is just in the point where as he's crossing over, there's a tiny bit of contact, but it's not enough to cause a spin. Luckily, he's not been in front of this pack that's steaming through at the moment. This battle for 7th is raging on all the way back to 13th. And one thing that must be mentioned is that as it stands, 14th Philip Birch will be the one staying in A lobby. Of course, he's battling away with the recovering Alex McDonald. At the moment, also dropping down will be Kieran Barrett, Ali Johnson and Kevin Bedell, but don't count out Barrett as well. Him and McDonald were the 2 that really seemed to pay from that earlier contact in turn 1. And they're trying to get themselves back into safety, but we're watching from the viewpoint of Charlie Thompson, tucked in behind Matt Carter as group in front of him look to dive, and they're going side by side again. It looks like, I think Kirkpatrick was holding that line for a minute and just decided to stay out of this one. Carl Cully, you can see, trying to get a run around the outside as Matt Carter dives to the inside of Kirkpatrick into turn 1. Wide line there from, I think that's Kirkpatrick taking another wide line. Oh, they're going side by side for the S's. That's extremely brave. That's Cully and Thompson. They both managed to keep it out of the wall. That's really good from the pair of them. I think Cully's had to back out of that one. He has. He's just tucked in behind. I'm not sure if he got too close to that inside wall on the left-hand side during the S's and just had to back out a tiny bit. Again, you can see Evans is looking to try and make a move at the back of this one. We're on lap 12 of 16 as it stands. Let's have another check towards the front. It's still Liam Ferguson leading from Dave German. It's not really closing that gap at all. Brandon Roos, however, is gaining on Bradley Thornton. There's a bit calmer here, as you can see, as opposed to that battle that's going on. Welcome, Luca. Back towards the chasing pack, though. This one is the one to watch. Charlie Thompson currently sitting in 10th place. He looked for a second like he was going to line a move on the inside of Kirkpatrick. He's still holding that inside tighter line. He might be getting a slight bump from Cully as he makes his way through, but Mercedes hasn't got the acceleration to try and pull alongside, but as he hits the straight line, you can see the ballast on that Audi is really upsetting him, and to the inside goes Thompson. He's going to be able to make a move on the first corner. I think Kirkpatrick is going to try and stick it out and hope to get something, but he's not going to be able to make anything here, and that is just tucking in behind there is Kirkpatrick. So good move there from Charlie Thompson. As you can see in front of him, the pairing of Garside and Carter side by side. Thompson really closed in under the brake in there. That's Carter up to 8th place with Garside in 9th. In front of them you can see Christian Snyder and Joe Upson are just escaping this pack, trying to get themselves out of any potential danger with the sheer volume of cars that are in that vicinity. I'm surprised there's only been the one incident so far. Meanwhile, actually, quick mention, but McDonald in 14th has broken away from that bottom four. He's finding himself now on the back of this travelling pack, so let's hope for his sake that there isn't another incident he gets caught up in. Great racing so far. I'll be back next week. Hope to see you back next week as well, Joe. And Luca, we'll have to have words about whether you're coming back as well. Let's keep an eye on this battling pack, though. You can see there Carl Cully towards the front of this now. I look away for 1 second, he finds himself in 9th place alongside Theo Garside. Also get involved in this, Declan Evans in 12th place. As you can see them all bundling up. As I mentioned, Declan Evans runs a little bit wide, and that gives Alex McDonald a chance to get alongside him, but up at the front, maybe that entry for round 2. I'll take it. But yeah, holding on to 10th place as it stands is Carl Cullen. It's been a good result from the Charity Cup champion from last season. As you can see there, Declan Evans getting his elbows out just that little bit and getting the move made. It looked like, or keeping, sorry, McDonald at bay. At the back of this now, Kirkpatrick is just finding that ballast, upsetting him a little bit too much. He's dropping off. You can see the pair of them. McDonald has dropped 10 places since the start. Kirkpatrick 12. Those two have lost out there. Up the hill, you can see the Honda there appear of McDonald as they make their way up the hill. Switch to the battle for 3rd place as we enter the penultimate lap. The leaders across the line. These two now across. There you go, and it's Thornton in 3rd, holding off Brandon Roos in 4th place. As it stands, Brandon Roos is actually holding the fastest lap of the race as well, with that 19 flat. A quick run through, though, penultimate lap of the race. You've got Liam Ferguson in 1st place, followed by Dave German. Those two haven't really closed in on each other as the laps have gone on. These two at the moment battling around is Thornton and Roos. And you've got on his own at the moment the Frenchman in Thibaut Duomi. Good drive from him to get 5th place despite that ballast. Joe Upson is in 6th, 7th for Christian Snyder, 8th Matt Carter, followed by Charlie Thompson, Carl Cully, Phil Garside, McDonald. Evans is in 13th. Kirkpatrick 14th, so he's safe as it stands. And it's Kieran Barrett, Philip Birch, Ali Johnston, and Kevin Bedell, the bottom 4, who would be dropping at the moment. Quick switch as you see the Kirkpatrick and Evans side by side, but Kirkpatrick just dropping off after that as the ballast hits him in his way up the hill. Glad to see it's all settled down, but we're here, final lap of the race. Liam Ferguson is looking to make it 2 out of 2. Going to watch from the perspective of Dave German as he follows his teammate round. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get to him. I mean, Ferguson's here carrying that 5% power ballast and it just doesn't look like his teammate is able to do anything about it. It's one thing that was said about Ferguson last season is despite ballast, he always managed to find a result, and he's proven that again here. say this that I wanted to check on those two, but Thornton and Roos are right with each other in this final battle for that podium spot. Roos all over the back of Thornton, trying to find a space, trying to find his potential overtaking opportunity. Looks like a bit of a missed apex there from Thornton. He's taken the later line. Roos maybe looking to get a run up the hill. It's not going to be close enough this time. He's looking for that inside line, but it's not going to be there at this moment. He's taken a wider exit. You can see the different lines these two are taking as they're trying to find the space. Roos just keep an eye on him, see if he dives down the inside into the final corner. He's being blocked off perfectly there. But as we look towards the start-finish line, it is Liam Ferguson crossing for yet another win. It's race 2, win 2 for him. Dave German takes a very well-deserved second place. Third place does go to Bradley Thornton. He held him off towards the end. Fourth for Brandon Roos. Fifth does go to Timo DeBoby. Sixth, Joe Upson. Then it is Christian Schneider, Matt Carter, Charlie Thompson is in ninth, followed by Carl Cully rounding out the top 10. Garside 11th. McDonald came home in 12th in the end, 13th for Dick Lemons, and everyone else has crossed, so we'll just hold out for a second and get the final parts of that one. Yeah, as mentioned then, so 10th place was, of course, McDonald from Carl Cully, Phil Garside in 12th, then it was Kirkpatrick 13th, Declan Lemons 14th, followed by Kieran Barrett, Ali Johnson, Philip Birch, and Kevin Bedell in 18th. Really close race all the way through yet again. Fastest lap of that one, I believe, has gone to Charlie Thompson, so he's stolen that with an 18.9 on one of those final laps. It was being held by Ferguson with his 19.1 there, sorry. It was Brandon Roos, wasn't it, a 19 flat that was holding on to that one, but it is a win there for Liam Ferguson, as mentioned. Takes home his second win of the season in the second race, so really setting the standard early for the reigning champion. Just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, any opinions after that one? Get involved, obviously, comment in chat. Anything you want to say after that? It was a calmer start to the season with race 1. Race 2 is a bit more what we were expecting, and I hope that everyone who checked in enjoyed that one. There is still one more race to go, which will be the third one of the season. Third and final of the evening. Nothing like falling from 4th to 13th in a single lap. That was an interesting lap for you there, Charlie. Just a standard day. I mean, you managed to bring it back to 9th, so, you know. Ali, I'm so slow. Sure. I mean, looking at your lap time, your fastest one was 2 tenths off, like, looking at 2 tenths off Kyle. Pretty much something I would do. Yeah, well, you weren't here today. So it's good to have we're good to have you guys back next week. Hoping Luca can make an appearance. That's good then. That was, wow, I don't know, it would have been entertaining to watch. This track can get in the it's great racing. I thought I was going to crash in front of me, so backed off and couldn't accelerate because Merck happened to be on the outside of the corner. Yeah, I thought you looked like you would just checked yourself up and then it. Yeah, you just. To be fair, this track is pretty fun to enjoy. I'm confirming that 995 entry. Look at you trying to do it. Well, I hope, other than Ali, everyone had a great time. Street dealing going on in chat. I know it. Still waiting for my HY article you've been teasing me about. Well, I didn't say it was going to be done by this race, did I? And hey, it's a good job I didn't do one for you because you didn't even race anyway. So, the news that has just been passed over is that the random draw has been done for pole position for race 3, and it will be 9th place taking pole position for the 3rd race of the evening. So Charlie Thompson will be starting from pole, then it'll be Matt Carter as he finished 8th, starting from 2nd, followed by Christian Schneider, Joe Upson, Thibaut Obomi, Brandon Roos, Bradley Thornton, Dave German, Liam Ferguson, and then obviously 10th onwards as they were. So McDonald from 10th, Cully 11th, etc. So yes, that does mean that Charlie Thompson starting from pole position in his Merc, which on the one side it would be good to see him starting from pole, on the other that Mercedes. I mean, it's 2 Mercedes, 1 and 2, so you never know. You never know. Can't wait to race the Audi next week. Ah yes, I forgot you switched to the Audi. Wait, did you switch to the Audi? I might be an idiot here. Yeah, you did. The TCR won it. Gah. My mistake. So I think the main thing that needs to be done is Garside needs to get out of his ballast because there isn't. Did you see my? Ah, yes, I did. Look, I'm an idiot. All right. Garside needs to make sure he doesn't have ballast on because there is no ballast for race 3. I mean, he can have ballast if he wants to, but we don't recommend it. Looks like Garside is pretty committed to keeping hold of his ballast, so you know, power to him. If he wants the ballast, he can keep it. You know. At this rate, you may end up with a co-host / pit reporter. Oh, don't tease me with such things. I mean, I haven't seen Conor Ambrose appear in AWB yet, so I'm pretty sure it won't be long until he decides, I'll be back. Shane, can I go up? What position did you finish, Shane? You got 3rd. Oh! Oh! Potentially. Depends who's taking over as a B-Lobby host in your absence, mate. Oh, Ali can do it. Oh, I wanted to go up. I mean, you take over as host, though, Ali. Potentially. I don't know if unless anyone else gets put in instead. There we go. Garside's decided he doesn't want ballast. Good shout. So the real question is, do we think that Liam Ferguson is going to make it 3 out of 3. That's, you know. Make it nice and simple. Who wins race 3? Is it Ferguson? Or is it literally anyone else? Get your predictions in, boys. And girls, I don't know. Nope, my money's on the purple Scotsman. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Hold on now. How are we doing with those predictions? Anyone going to put some predictions down? It's a nice simple one. It's either you think he's gonna, or you don't. He needs that win. He's earned one, I think. He drove really well in race 1. I think race 2 it was just really unlucky that ballast was. The ballast was clearly upsetting that car and it was slowing him down. But he just got caught up in that mid-battle. We all saw that mid-battle. It's one of those, you know. I reckon another podium, minimum, surely. I mean, I say surely. The grid is going to be absolutely stacked this time around. I mean, one to watch, in my opinion, is going to be Thibaut. You know, it's a very impressive 5th place to bring home that Audi with ballast. Even no one actually thinks the Ferguson's going to make it 3 out of 3. Interesting. And I expect that's just Ali putting his points in. No one else. So we can see someone has joined. It's Hayden Project coming back up. That's one of the one of those that are needed. Just waiting on the others from BW. Looks like they were slightly behind time-wise. So I do apologise for the delay currently. Hopefully get this up and running shortly, but I'll just take a short break whilst I wait for them to get themselves sorted. So as you can see, welcome back. One of the others from B Lobby have made their jump up, and it's Kieran McKeldin. So he's in his beautifully designed Octopus Energy MCU car. Look forward to seeing how he gets on. And I think we're just waiting on 2 more, so do bear with. So how has everyone found the return of the stream then? Do feel free to give feedback where you can. I'm aware I'm doing it on my own as opposed to my usual of having a co-commentator, but hey, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Do you have a co-com? I don't currently. The plan was, I think, to have Connor back again, but he decided he wanted to actually race this season, which is a major disappointment. And I then, admittedly, then didn't look at getting someone in, but it's something I'm going to look into. Yeah. So who's the other 2 coming up then? It's Kieran's teammate Shane Bellotti, as we kind of mentioned in the chat. And Liam James making his return back after the hiatus for race 2, shall we say. I doubt either of them will want the ballast, but it's good to have them back. There we go. They're sorting it now. Yeah, no, Luca, it's one of those. I mean, ideally I'd like to have a co-commentator next to me, but I say next to me, it's like in the figurative sense, because they don't actually sit next to me yet. But yeah, I feel my voice going a bit quicker now. I'm so used to doing it with a co-commentator, I can actually like take the break. But let's just hope it's not another manic one that makes me lose my lungs again, shall we? Right then, let's get race 3 underway. As you can see, no ballast on the grid for race 3. It is all out. Go for it. Yeah, all out, go for it. We will run through the grid then for the final race of the evening. So thank you for everyone who has stuck around and is getting ready to see hopefully another repeat of race 2, which was nice. And just full of battles everywhere. Can't complain with that, can you? So Charlie Thompson, as mentioned, starting from pole. Alongside him is Matt Carter, so it's a Mercedes 1 and 2. Behind them, you've got Christian Snyder and Joe Upson, followed by Timo Debovi, Brandon Roos and Bradley Thornton. One to watch possibly off the start here will be Upson, as he's kind of surrounded by cars that get poor starts in his Chevrolet, so expect to see him gain a couple positions off the get-go. As mentioned, Bradley Thornton in 7th. 8th place is Dave German, and then race 1 and race 2's winner, Liam Ferguson, sat in 9th. 10th is Carl Cully, followed by Phil Garside. Alex McDonald, who did really well, actually, to recover back from his contact with Kieran Barrett. Well, I say contact with Kieran Barrett, I don't want to say it was either of them's fault. All I know I saw was the 2 of them spinning into the wall together. He did really well to get back and get himself back into the top. I mean, it's the top 14 survive, so fair play to him for that one. 13th is Declan Evans, who's done really well, sat in around 13th, 14th every result and staying in the top lobby, which sounds like a bit of a dig of he just managed to stay in, but it's been really good driving from him to save it from race 1, making that overtake on Tom Clarkson in the final lap to keep it, and he got involved in quite a few of the battles in race 2 as well, so fair play to him. 14th is Callum Kirkpatrick, who'd be looking to build really a disappointing race 2. But managed to stay in a little bit, so it's positive nonetheless. And then we have those that come up. So Liam James for AMS in 15th. 16th is... I'm sure I've got this right. 16th is Hayden Prodger. 17th is Shane Bellotti. And then starting alongside Shane Bellotti will be Kieran McKeldin in 18th. So, yet again, it is another 15-lap race. Obviously the timer shows 16 due to the warm-up lap. But it'll be, yeah, that one then go, and I think James put himself in the wall in the background there. We'll we'll wait and see what happens there, see if they get this all sorted out. I think they have. Not sure if they're all in the right positions back there, so I'll have to soon find out. You can see there, Charlie Thompson starting on pole, his Mercedes kind of compatriot alongside him. It is going to be, in my opinion, Joe Upson the one to watch with that fast starting Chevrolet. It was a great start from the Mercedes in the end. That is just perfect. Apologies for that. I had to charge my batteries before I even started this, but we moved. So Charlie Thompson got away in first place, second place, Matt Carter, then you've got Christian Snyder, third. Jobson got to fourth, but it wasn't quite enough. You see a little bit wide there from Jobson to make the way through the right-hander and start their descent down the hill. It's quite tidy all the way through. Oh, never mind. Joe Upson looked like he got completely sideways there. Not sure if he got attacked from behind. He's managed to hold on to fourth place, though. Behind them, you can see everyone has managed to get through safely. McKeldin and Bellotti at the back there. I think there's a brush on the wall there from Christian Snyder. Yes, it was. Look at the speed that Upson has got against him as they make their way up. Never mind that. Who's that that's flew up the inside? I think that's Brandon Roos who's managed to gain 2 places on that. So Brandon Roos from 5th. Sorry, from about 7th up to 5th. Oh, never mind, it's just Forza being Forza again. He's up to 3rd. Let me just... Come on, Forza, sort yourself out. Top tier commentary, as always. Right, everyone is making their way through the final corner to finish lap 1. Let's see if we can get ourselves settled and get this going again. So, Charlie Thompson away in first place. Next to him is going to be Matt Carter. The pair of them are looking to try and get a gap as quick as possible behind them. You can see that is Dave German, I believe, looking to try and make it 3 wide as they make their way through the first turn. He's alongside Christian Snyder at the moment. Looks like he's trying to make a move up the inside. He's going to make that one stick, so he's going to now tuck in into 5th place behind Joe Upson. Snyder down into 6th. He's going to keep an eye out behind him because he's got Timo Bomi all over the back of him as he finds himself actually getting pushed a little bit wide there. Who's that? He's side by side. I think it's Bradley Thornton. The pair of them, I mean, didn't push him off track. They were just simply bumping each other as they make their way through. That's Cam Kirkpatrick, who's finding himself embroiled in a battle behind them with Liam Ferguson, who's got himself to... He stayed 9th, so he hasn't really lost or gained anything off the start. Kirkpatrick, however, is looking to try and make a move. Ferguson, you can see, looking to get a line on the outside of Bradley Thornton. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move there unless there's a heavy braking zone that he can hold this all the way through to turn 1. He might be able to try something, but Thornton looks like he's going to keep hold of it as they make their way through the right-hander. Yes, they are. And now you can see Ferguson for a second looked like he was going to shift to the inside, but Kirkpatrick was there, so he couldn't do it. Kirkpatrick looks like he's going to try and make a move on him up the inside. Can take away 9th place from him, it looks like. You can see in front of them, Timo Boda has got into 6th place now. He had for a split second, going almost 3 wide between DeBomi, German and Schneider in turn 1, and it looks like German is what is going to win that one out. And DeBomi, you can see, is looking to try and make a move on Schneider as they go up towards the kind of about to make their way this descent down the hill. And DeBomi's just going to have to slot in behind, but up to the front, Thompson is getting a good gap at the moment, getting a few car lengths on Matt Carter. Carter's doing well, in fact, to hold on to 2nd place. He's got Brandon Roos and Joe Upson, the 2 TMS cars, making their way behind him. On the way up the hill, you can see the car is not really losing anything out at the moment. I think it's just a case of wait till the rhythm starts getting going and see if these guys can get a catch-up going. Christian Schneider, you can see here, however, up the inside of I believe that was, yes it was teammate of Owen. Liam Ferguson has found himself in 8th place, so something's gone on with Kirkpatrick, who's dropped himself down to 12th. And then you've got a battle going on for 14th as Evans sat behind, I believe that's, yes, Liam James and Hayden Prodger, but let's keep an eye on this main battle that's going on for around, well, it's kind of, what's that, Schneider down, I think that is, which is 6th place? Yeah, 6th place in Christian Schneider, all the way down to about 13th in Alex McDonald. So, keep an eye on them. The top 5 have pulled away from this battle. Dave German, the latest to escape, so to speak. It's way down the right-hander yet again. You can see Schneider is holding on to 6th place. He is the leading of this charge. I'm not sure if he's gaining on those ahead or if he's more holding up the people with him. I have to check this over the next few laps. You can see Debomi is doing everything in his power to try and get a run on him and try and get along the outside, but that RS3 has just got a little bit too much power up the straight compared to him, and in fact it's left him wide open for an overtake on the inside. That's, I believe that's Liam Ferguson making moves. He's trying to, he's getting fought back against here by the Audi. Through the final corner they go. Liam Ferguson only gained the 1 place so far this race, and he's normally known for making his way through the pack in race 3. He's having to watch now as Debomi looks to try and make a move on the inside of Schneider. You see there in the background, Kirkpatrick yet again going a little bit wide through that first turn. He's done that pretty much every race a couple of times. I can see Debomi made that move, and Ferguson's actually followed him through, so it's worked out exactly how Ferguson would have, exactly how he planned it. No, Ferguson up to 7th place, Schneider down to 9th, or to 8th, sorry, but it looks like he's in under a real danger of dropping down one more place. He has, and that's Phil Garside who's taking this place in 8th place. I say place about 6 times in that sentence, nice one. A bit sideways there from Garside as he get in contact from the back. I think a few of them were all rubbing bumpers, and it nearly sent Garside round. Did well to hold on to that one. Oh, there's just seeing on the inside there. We're watching it from the view of Bradley Thornton, and McDonald just started to make his appearance on the inside. That Honda's got a bit more power than it used to. Hasn't had a buff at all. Just, I think it's finally been shown the potential that it's got in it. We go back towards the front of the grid just to double check how we're going as we're on lap 7 of 16. It is Charlie Thompson still leading the way in first. I think he's also holding on to the fastest lap of the race. Second place is Matt Carter, so these two are doing well. Third place is Joe Upson, who's got past Brandon Roos. So the TMS cars are battling away here when you'd have thought their priority would be to try and get to those ahead of them, but soon find out how it goes as Brandon looks to make a move on the inside of his teammate. He's had to dive out of that one at the last second, but I wonder if there'll be any team orders between these guys as they try to gain on those ahead. 5th place on Dave German, who's got Thibaut Debomi gained on the back of him. Thibaut is really impressive in this race so far. He's got a line on the inside and the LMP Sports Audi S3. He's potentially got a run up the hill on the inside. He's going to have the advantage as they go through the really quick right-handers here. Surely under braking into the next part, he's going to make this one stick. It looks like he may. For a second I thought German was going to try and hold it around the outside, but wasn't to be done. That is a position gained by the Frenchman. He's through the final corner. He's gone quite wide there, I think. I say quite really wide there, and he might put himself under pressure, but he's just managed to keep the power going and stay ahead. He's all the way through the field. You can see 15th and 16th, Declan Lemons and Hayden Prodger still together. Everyone's kind of separating out that little bit, which is a bit calm. Brandon Roos and Joe Upson still together. In fact, it looks like Matt Carter is getting on the back of Charlie Thompson, so that could be a potential overtake coming up soon. Just look through the changes at the moment. So Kieran McKeldin and Shane Bellotti sat there in 17th and 18th. McKeldin's actually got past Bellotti so far. Give their cars a bit of love there for their nice pink and purple ones. Alright, that's enough. Back to the front. Watching from the viewpoint of Matt Carter as he's behind Charlie Thompson there. Halfway through the race, Charlie has led from the first lap. He's not showing any signs of kind of being caught here as Thompson. He's not seeming to be making any mistakes. It's just every so often Matt Carter's just... Actually, I'll take that back. Matt Carter did reel him in quite a bit through that corner. He's tried to show the inside. He looked like he was going to go for it, and then very swiftly went, not quite yet, not close enough. Under braking though, you can see Matt Carter lost out a little bit first, and then as they make their way through the sweeping right, gains on him again. So this could be a spot that Carter's already noticed as a potential weakness. Under braking, you can see that Thompson did get away from Carter. I think Carter was lining up for a move and backed out of it early to avoid any contact. And then we can see it looks like the TMS pair have sorted themselves out. It's Brandon Roos followed by Joe Upson, and Brandon looks to have been sent on the charge. Meanwhile, you can see here Carter's lining up for an outside move. He's looking to go for the switchback, but Thompson has covered that inside line beautifully. You can see there on the back of Thompson's car, no more Mr. Nice Guy. He's wanting this win. He's wanting to push on this season and improve, and he's stuck with this Merc. It's served him well for the past few seasons now. Through the final corner they go, about to start lap 10 of 16. These two. Oh, a bit of a grind on the wall there from Thompson. Is it going to be enough to put Matt Carter onto him? I think Carter did the same thing, in fact, so it's not close enough yet. You can see here, 3 cars are now looking to be getting onto the back of these guys, and they need to keep an eye out because following up behind them is 2 of the Full Sem racing cars, and I think that's Ferguson and Dave German on their way as well. So this could start to heat up in the last few laps. Battle of 3 going on for 10th place between Schneider, Kirkpatrick, and Thornton. These 3 seem to have been stuck together for quite a while as well. We'll go back towards the front. We'll check it from the view of Debomi. Debomi's got some real speed going on here actually. He could be the one to upset the party if he can get through the TMS cars. He's been showing some pace all evening. And here he is, putting some pressure on the pairing of Roos and Upson. Looking to try and get a run out of the final corner as they make their way along the straight. He's actually holding on to the fast lap of the race at the moment with an 18.6. Oh, he's shown to the outside there by Upson. Upson's given him the line to say, if you want to get me, you're going to have to go all the way around. Debomi's not giving that up, in fact. I thought for a second he got his nose alongside, but on exit he just decided to tuck in and wait on this one. You can see him looking all over. He's trying to find a gap. Upson is not an easy person to overtake, however. The LMP Sports Audi all over the Tempest Motorsport Chevrolets. You know, once he gets past one of them, he's got another one to contend with, but the real danger coming in now is Liam Ferguson, who's appeared in 6th place and has just dropped the following group. And is looking to get on the back of these guys, and he does this every time on a race 3. Ferguson just slowly goes about his business, and out of nowhere you just turn and he's there in 2nd, 3rd place, and you're like, how have you got to here? And he's looking at those ahead. You can see Debomi's making a move on the inside of Upson. I think he's already made that stick as they go through the left-hander. He has. It looks like Debomi on a real charge at the moment up into 4th place. Upson's going to have to slot in behind, and he's going to be calling out to the guys ahead. He's going to be like, Brandon, watch out. That didn't take really that long at all. And Debomi's now got to get his rhythm going and see if he can get that pace and see if he can challenge the podium here. He's got 5 laps to do it, including this one. Up at the front you can see Charlie Thompson and Matt Carter have actually gained a little bit on Brandon Roos, so that's going to do these 2 in the Merc They're going to love to see that behind them. To see, I think that was a slight mistake there in the background. I think that was Ferguson getting past Jacobsen. It was, so that's Ferguson up to 5th. Can't look away from these guys at the moment. This top battle. Oh, graze on the barrier there from Brown and Roos. He's under pressure from Debomi. I think Debomi did manage to make contact with the wall as well, slightly, so they both had a bit of an upset speed on the way up the hill. He's got to run on Brandon. He's tucked right in behind him. Which way is he going to go? Is he committing to the inside? He is diving to the inside as the way through the final corner, and that's... He's made another place. That's 2 in 2 laps for Debomi. And now the Frenchman, he's going to be looking at the leaders. He's up to 3rd place. For a second, I thought Liam Ferguson was going to follow him through. And right now, I think those two ahead, those Mercedes, have definitely looked back and seen the Frenchman come flying through the field and might be a bit concerned from those two now. 4 laps left. Meanwhile, in the background, you see Ferguson then looked like he was lining up a move on Brandon Roos. For a second, looked for the inside and just backed out of that one, but it is still down the hill. Not quite placed there for Ferguson to overtake this time round, but maybe something on the way up the hill. That seems where Brandon looks to be losing his pace a little bit. See, Ferguson's just tucked in. He's doing everything he can to get a good run. He's got a nose alongside to go for the inside line. He looks like he may have, and Brandon's given him the space. Respectful driving from the pair of them. Brandon could have quite easily closed that door on him aggressively and taken his nose off, but he's given him a chance. And Ferguson doesn't need a second invitation, but the cutback! Brandon Roos goes for the cutback on his main title rival, really, in the past few seasons. A bit of a graze on the ball there from Ferguson after a bit of contact from Brandon Roos, and 2 of them are side by side as go across start-finish line. It is currently Ferguson counted as 4th place, but I think Roos is going to get him surely on the inside line here through the sweeping right. And they've got to watch out here. You can see the 3 cars coming up behind these lot as well, so 4 cars in fact. We'll go back towards the front. 3 laps to go. Matt Carter, you can tell, he can see Debomi on his way, and he's trying to... I mean, Debomi's got no pressure from behind now. He's got one thing in mind, and that is 1st place. Matt Carter can feel it, and he's looking at Charlie Thompson to either... well, he's either got to overtake him or get a move on, because these two could end up losing their battle for 1st if Debomi does what he's... I mean, he's absolutely swept through the field. He's only really technically gained 1 place this race. And Ferguson, by the way, a very quick one, has taken 4th place off of Brandon Roos. Just saw that at the ticker. He's taken 4th place, and now, I mean, it's surely too late for Ferguson to look to make a move on the top 3, but it's be a great result for him in 1st place, and a 4th. But up at the front, Debomi is now on the back of these two. Penultimate lap of the race. Ferguson skipped five positions this race. Just so casually done it. Thompson's getting defensive. Matt Carter looked like he was going to look to try and make a move, and may have just made a slight mistake there as Thompson. He's run a little bit wide, and Carter's looking at the opportunity to make an overtake. It's not there this time round. Through the S's they go. Thompson from Carter from Debomi. Who's going to take the win in race 3 here at the Alps? Down the hill they go. Thompson, you can see he's got Carter all over the back of him. He's done so well to hold him off until this point. Is this Carter's opportunity? Looking at the cutback, and Thompson, he defended this one nicely earlier. He just held that inside line. Up the hill they go. You can see it's all over the back, and you can't even see Thompson's car. His car is covering it up. Look at how close these 3 are as they make their way through these right-handers on their way towards starting the final lap. It's Thompson from Carter from Debomi. One of these 3 is going to win the 3rd race of the evening. There's battles going on behind them, but it's all down to this. Across the line we come. Start the final lap. Thompson or Carter make their way. Carter looks like he's making a move to the inside. Matt Carter's got his opportunity. Under braking. Thompson looks like he's getting him. I think Thompson's gonna get... Oh, I think Carter's gonna go side by side as they make their way into the S's. He's not. He's just held him off, and in fact, that's allowed Tabomi a chance to get involved. Oh, Tabomi, a little bit of contact on the back of Carter there. It looked like that had to back off slightly. Was that the chance that Carter had? Thompson defended it so well. Down the hill we go for the final time. It's Thompson from Carter from Tabomi, and I think Thompson's got a gap now. Carter may have to concentrate on defending from Tabomi. Up the hill. It looks like Carter may be concentrating now on holding on to second place. Tabomi's done really well to get onto the back of him. So go towards the final turn. Charlie Thompson rounds the final turn. He looks to have done it. Lights to flag for Charlie Thompson. Crosses the line. And he's won race 3. Behind him you can see, photo finish between the two, but it did look like Carter kept second place from Tabomi. 4th place goes to Liam Ferguson. 5th for Brandon Roos. But Charlie Thompson will go through the rest of the field shortly. But Charlie Thompson and Matt Carter, great try from the pair of them. Tabomi did so well to get onto the back of them. Carter held him off. Thompson had to defend at one point from pretty much the pair of them. But what a drive. What a race, really, all the way around. It was calmer than race 2. And if it wasn't for that start getting slightly ruined by my controller, that'd have been probably just exciting from start to finish. But Charlie Thompson, let's get confirmation of that one. He does take the win in race 3, followed by Matt Carter and Thibaut Tabomi in 3rd. Following them, Ferguson takes 4th place. Brandon Roos 5th. Joe Upson in 6th, followed by Dave German, Phil Garside, Callum Kirkpatrick in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is McDonald. Then you've got Bradley Thornton in 11th, 12th for Christian Snyder, 13th Carl Cully, 14th Declan Evans, 15th Liam James, 16th is Hayden Prodger, 17th for Kieran McKeldon, 18th for Shane Bellotti. So good drive all the way around. No crashes out of that one. But Charlie Thompson, great drive to take the win in race 3 to follow up from the races in 1 and 2, which is obviously won by Liam Ferguson, but what a drive that was. And it's good racing all the way through. I know the chat is I say the chat, it's mainly Joe, but I know you're happy to see the Charlie win. It's a popular win, that's for sure. I mean, Matt Carter, he drove so well as well. You can see it got to a point and he had to make a choice between he had to make a choice, Matt Carter, between trying to keep going for Thompson or defending from Tabomi. He picked to defend, and I mean, it worked out perfectly. He's kept his second place. Really good drive. And yeah, Charlie Thompson taking that win, and that's going to bump him up the standings very nicely. So I'm going to let you guys see if there's any last comments you want to make before we'll call it there to finish off the racing. I hope everyone who watched had fun tonight. I hope everyone who took part had fun tonight. And standings, etc., will be posted on our socials. Such a good drive. Stokey HYR will be back for the second round. Can't wait, mate. Cannot wait. Charlie T, time for stream. Yeah, watch it back. I want to apologise for yeah, I want to apologise for the start of race 3. I had a slight malfunction, shall we say. Did you stream the finale last season? I did not. I did not. Apology not accepted. Nah, understandable. was going to say he might have been my good luck charm. Ah! Never. Never, Shane. You're all good. I launched it right on .1, I reckon. Ah. I don't think I'll challenge for the Charity Cup as I missed around. You'll be surprised, actually. I will say that you could be pleasantly surprised. We've had people win championships after missing more than one round, mate, so doesn't mean anything, but I think we'll call it there, guys. Thank you again to everyone for taking part. And thank you for everyone who watched. I enjoyed being back. Be back next week. I'm really happy with that result. I do one level host. Yeah, honestly, great drive, Shane. Well done, mate. Let me make 100% sure before I say it. Yeah. So next week, 24th of April, is the German round from the Nürburgring, and I look forward to seeing this all again. Cheers for streaming the night. Great to have back. No, great to be back, Charlie. Thank you very much. And yeah, congratulations again to our winners. We'll see you next time round. Thank you very much, everyone. Good night.